Hi again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of This Week in Golf. I'm your host, Brandon Tierney. As always, lots happening, so let's jump right in, get to the tee box. And we start with a recap of the season's first major, the one and only Masters, held, of course, at historical Augusta, Georgia. Patrick Reed, another chapter to his resume, adding to his Ryder Cup heroics as he nails down his first career major and professional win, number 6. And he did so by fending off Ricky Fowler, who finished one shot back in Jordan Spieth, who fired a final round 64 to make Reed sweat a little bit. Don't forget about Jon Rahm. He was in the mix as well, as he finished 11 under par, but it was Reed who shined the brightest as he tallied a minus 15 for the week after dropping scores of 69, 66, 67, and 71. And while Reed certainly has some detractors, I get it, and a unique story, personally, I think he's awesome, and I think he injects an element of unpredictability into a sport that, let's face it, on occasion, can feel a bit homogenized. Listen, you might not like the way he comports himself, but this kid can play. Yeah, he's blunt and he's definitely blue collar, but is that bad? He's got the heart and the toughness to match the game, and he's going to be around a long, long time. So if you don't like Patrick Reed, you better get used to Patrick Reed. Dude's got all sorts of talent. As for Tiger Woods, do yourself a favor, forget the scores for a moment here. Personally, I was actually pretty encouraged here. Now, granted, his distance control was way off, but he was able to grind through 4 rounds and emerge pain and injury-free. Keep in mind, golf's a sport of failure. You win 10% of the time, you're an all-time icon. So no, the Masters wasn't Tiger's coronation of his comeback, but rather another important step forward. One that I believe will eventually lead Big Cat back to the winner's circle. Don't sleep on Tiger. I've been telling you that for a while. How about this past weekend? The Valero Texas Open had center stage. No shortage of fireworks in San Antonio. Now, when it was over, Andrew Landry picked up the hardware and also 500 FedEx points by firing a 17 under par, which was 2 better than Sean Landry and Trey Mullinax. Landry, a native Texan, it's his first career PGA win. Nicely done. There you go. And while I would know about the weather in most pockets of the Northeast and Midwest, the 2018 PGA season is really starting to heat up, and next week is no exception as the tour hits Louisiana for the much-anticipated Zurich Classic, followed by a trip through the state of North Carolina as fabled Quail Hollow serves as the backdrop for the Wells Fargo Championship. Following Quail Hollow, it's the season's unofficial 5th major as the game's best descend upon Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida for the Players' Championship. And from there, the countdown is officially on with just 4, count them, 4 more events before the U.S. Open. And the course this year, as stiff a test as there is in golf. Shinnecock Hills in Southampton, New York is back in the rotation, but a 14-year hiatus. And you might recall, back in 2004, South Africa's Retief Goosen hung on. He beat Phil Mickelson by a couple of shots. In fact, Goosen and Lefty, the only 2 golfers under par. Now, just how tough was the course that year? Tiger Woods finished the event at 10 over and still finished inside the top 20. It's a beast, although there were complaints about the playability of a couple of greens, something the USG is obviously well aware of and motivated to rectify. All right, taking a look at the race for the FedEx Cup, and Justin Thomas atop the board right now, 1,700 plus points, followed by Patton Kizzire and Bubba Watson at number 2 and number 3. Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson round out your top 5. And that'll do it for this edition of This Week in Golf with Brandon Tierney. Until next time, hit 'em straight, and if you can't do that, reach into the pocket and hit 'em often. We'll see you.